Hello, dear friends. Marina is here with you. I'm coming to you live from this deserted island in Indonesia. And there's a beautiful sunset here happening. It's gorgeous. There's not a soul here, other than monkeys. It's been an incredible time, an amazing opportunity to be here. It really forces me to eliminate all the distractions. Um, there's nothing to do, there's nowhere to go, there's no trainings to attend, no parties to go to, there's no distractions or attractions, there's no temples to visit. So it's very, very simple. And even the internet is kind of wonky here, it's got a mind of its own. So, what do you do in such simplicity? It reminds me of a Vipassana retreat. Those silent retreats where you go to, and for the first 3 days, the monkey mind is still very active and it's running the show. And it's like, why is this happening? Why is that happening? It's got a million questions that are just turning in the head. Nothing makes sense, and I could have done this and I should have done that, and it's got so many opinions and things to say, so your mind is running around like a ping pong ball. And then after day 3, day 4, it kind of starts to subside, and we start appreciating the silence, the stillness, and also we start noticing and hearing the subconscious mind. And that's where it gets really juicy and interesting, because that's when we get to see the subconscious at play and all the ways that we, act, react, self-sabotage. And it's really that the subconscious mind, is beyond the conscious mind. So we think we're all conscious and we know what we're doing, and, we're running the show, but it's until the subconscious shows up that we realize we're not in control, because it's the same old. If you notice, it's the same old reactions. Could be different people, different scenarios, environments, but our underlying tone of our thinking, our patterns is still the same. So there's that saying that goes, the more things change, the more they stay the same. That is true, unless we change that subconscious mind. So this is where I get to really see and watch the subconscious mind. I get to see its addictions, I get to see its wants, its hunger, it need to control, all of that. And then I get to pause, because I'm not feeding it anything. I'm not jumping on, the next event, the next, podcast, TV show, or, whatever is out there. But I get to really see and observe the reactions. And then I get to choose and, act differently. Not to feed it that same old things that I would usually do, but really, make a different choice. Sit with it for a little longer, not give it what it wants. So it's been really good, and mostly just to observe, like, wow, how strong these cravings are, how strong these opinions are. It's literally the addictions, how addicted we all are to things, but mostly it's our need to control, our need to want something and get it, especially, living in a world of, where everything is available, and we get to have all these, immediate satisfactions right away. They're very tricky. They kind of work against us. And it's been phenomenal. So I wanted to share that with you. And then some of the tangible ways how we can cultivate that is when we get to see some of these patterns that are not serving us, and we get to really see them at a distance, without being in a situation necessarily and reacting to it right there and then. But we get to see how, oh, I like to have things my way. I like to be entertained, or I like to have, um, choices in my life, and not having that is like, okay, well, what is it teaching me, or what is a different choice here that I can make? So some of the ways, like when you get to identify the cost of these reactions, emotions, the cost of the subconscious patterns, then we get to also choose what is that outcome that we really desire. So number one is, what is the pattern that is running the show? Number two is, what is my true desire? Like, where do I want things to go? What is that direction? Where do I want to be in a year from now? And then what's preventing me from getting there? And then you get to see, okay, what would be the healthier choices, healthier thoughts, actions. So you get now to create a new destination for your emotions, for your reactions, and then it's the showtime. Then we get to work at those and create new connections, like it actually happens in our brains. So there are new neural pathways that we get to then create. So the mind works in an amazing way. It actually, chooses these connections that, we've previously acted on. So, we're just choosing the path of least resistance all the time. Even though we know what are the healthier ways, we choose the old ones, which are familiar. Even if, the results that they're bringing us are not the best, and we know that. So here we get to choose again. And now you get to retrain your brain. You get to cultivate these new habits, new abilities. So it takes a little bit of time and effort in the beginning, but it does create these new ways, and it pays in the long run, and it really brings you to the right destinations. So some of the ways we can do that is, number one is meditation. So when you realize some of these patterns, instead of, reacting, just sit, meditate with it. Another way is, or do them all in combination. That's what I would suggest. So meditation is great. Develops this ability to observe on a distance and be that observer, having that ability to notice things and without reacting. Number two, exercise. So that creates, new energy in our body, and dopamine, and gets the brain, to come up with new solutions. It's like, new breath and a lot more oxygen. So exercise is super healthy. Notice if you get, in a tough situation or an argument with someone, how you automatically, 1000%, you'll exercise those old ways over. I'm watching the waves and I go waves. Old ways over and over and over. Versus if you're able to just distance yourself from that, what is happening for the moment, and say, let me take a little breather here. You go for a little, walk or jog, or just, breathe some air. Breath is amazing. But if you're able to do that, how much more, creative you can get. Maybe new ideas are going to start to flow to you. I love those meetings where instead of sitting in a tough meeting where we need to address certain things or make tough decisions, or maybe you need to have a tough conversation with someone, instead of sitting in an office or sitting head to head with someone, why not go for a walk? Get your body moving, get that oxygen going. It's a lot more pleasant. I'm always surprised to, how much new can come in, how those thoughts can move, and gives you a lot of space. So that's number one. Number two. Number three is to build new habits and really, being able to lock them in, our brain thrives on high energy and enthusiasm. So if you can get yourself curious about stuff, like traveling is amazing for that, but also just getting curious and excited about anything, like, maybe you want to learn a new instrument or a game that you want to master, or a dance, anything that can just like wake you up and get you excited is also going to, put the brain in an optimal state of learning and creating new habits. So there, friends, you have it. You have 3 things to do. So first, you determine where do you want to go. What's the new outcome? What's the new destination? Then you determine and you see what are some of those old patterns that you need to break. And also stop yourself, catch yourself as early as possible. Don't go all the way till the end. It's a dead end. You already know that. So don't have to wait too long. Just, stop earlier. And then practice those 3 things, meditation, lots of breath, exercise. Just try it out. Moving your body, especially in tense situations. And number 3 is get excited, get enthusiastic about stuff. So wishing you well. Happy day, happy week, happy brain exercising, friends.